So this is Baruch Fleischman, and I just got this book, Likutei Moharan, this English version, and I've seen it before, but I realize now that I'm reading it that it is really an excellent translation of Likutei Moharan. And I have to tell you that I became very close to Breslev in the early 1980s. It's a long time ago, over 40 years ago. And I met Chaim Kramer back then, and other people, Rav Schick, Rabbi Klein from Tzfat. I met them all. They used to come to Miami Beach from time to time. This book and all those things that are associated with it made a tremendous difference in my life, and they continue to evolve into greater and greater things. The thought about Breslev is not that you have to be, it's not Satmar. In other words, it's what it is. It's an original, one of the earliest, or maybe the earliest Hasidus that really gained popularity. And it has implications for everybody. And it's not exclusive. You don't have to be Hungarian in order to enjoy this like in Satmar. Satmar is a clique of people, of families from a certain place, and that's fine. But Breslev's not like that. Breslev is a system of ideas and practices to be able to bring us closer to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, and it is. And the main thing here that I want to say, and I know this is a big preamble, but I want to start it over again, after seeing the first Torah and realizing how well it's written it is, that this meant a lot to me. That I've been in places in my life where I've been absolutely broken to pieces. And I don't know how, I got up, in the morning and, went out and did what I had to do, but without the help of a Rebbe here like this, to be able to show me where the path to really, to the peace and the perfection of the life that I sought. So here comes Rebbe Nachman, and here is his translation, or I'll read it again. It says, Ashrei Tamimi Derech, happy are those whose way is perfect, who walk with the Torah of God. Now we're going to have to find out what this means and what this has to do with our Torah. So here you are, a person, if you are this person, who feels with himself that it's very difficult in life. And maybe you're really broken and you can't get it together. So the Rebbe comes along and he says like this, my friend, know by means of the Torah all the prayers and all the requests to be requested in prayer accepted. Now it could be that you're in a place of your life that you don't realize that you can pray. And even if you do pray, you don't realize what you can work with your prayers. And that's why we're bringing the Zohar here and all of these other mysterious things, because they're aimed at trying to show us how God works in a hidden way every place. So he says that he wants to build a Torah on this idea of how you can get your prayers answered. That's basically what it is. If you're broken enough, then you realize that the source of all things is only He. The grace and importance of the Jewish people are thus enhanced and elevated in the estimation of all of those whom they may have need, whether in matters spiritual or physical. So it is the Torah, he says, that brings the acceptance of prayers. So first we have to realize that we can pray. To whom can we pray? So the author of all events. So he says what's happened is, though, that we live in exile. For presently, as a result of our many sins, the true grace and importance of the Jewish people have fallen. Now most of the importance and grace are found with others. By means of the Torah, however, the Jewish people's grace and importance are enhanced. For the Torah is called a beloved doe and a yalat chen, which is a graceful gazelle. But yalat means that something that it's very beautiful, something like a doe, like something sweet, a sweet mother. But at the same time, it is able to elevate this chen, which is like a gazelle. He says that she, ma'ala chen, bestows grace, that is the Shekhinah, upon those who study her, that is the Torah. And through this, all prayers and requests are accepted. Now, that's a very important idea. So you don't like to have somebody just say something like this, but the Rebbe wants to come and prove it to you. For the Jew must always focus on the inner intelligence of every matter, and bind himself to the wisdom and inner intelligence that is to be found in each thing. This is so that the intelligence which is in each thing may enlighten him. So, in other words, we're matching what is inside of ourselves. This is what really Rabbi Memram is saying. He's saying that within inside of you is an aspect of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, and it's in every place else. And here the Rebbe is calling it intelligence. This is so that the intelligence which is in each thing may enlighten him, because it matches his own, that he may grow closer to God through that thing. For the inner intelligence is a great light that shines for a person in all his ways. As it is written, a person's wisdom causes his countenance to shine. This is, of course, the concept of Yaakov. Now he says Yaakov. Now I said this before in the last short shir because I tried to analyze this, because the Rebbe is a tremendous Kabbalist. He's a Kabbalist for the Ashkenazi community that originally lived in Ukraine, which was big in the news right now. And then, of course, it spread throughout the world. We had to go through the Holocaust and still came out, and that's part of what we have here together for ourselves. For Yaakov merited the rights of the firstborn, which is Rashis, which is the beginning. He's the concept of the beginning. He wants it to the concept of wisdom. As in, Rashis is wisdom. Rashis is called Rashis Chochmah. Rashis is Chochmah. This corresponds to, and Yakveni, these two times. And you outsmarted me, you obstructed me. And he said, which Onkelos renders, he outwitted me. So this is Esav talking about Yaakov. Yaakov is the concept, I think about this, of grabbing on. Remember that he's grabbing, originally when Esav came out, he had his brother grabbing onto his foot. That's the concept of Akev, or ankle. Yaakov. And this is the concept of sun. For the inner intelligence shines for him in all his ways like the sun. So again, what we've seen in other places, spelled out in different ways. That everything has the seichel within it. If it's inside of you, you could connect that to the seichel that's inside of everything. This corresponds to this phrase, the path of the righteous is like radiant sunlight, shining ever brighter as it approaches noon. And this is the concept of chet. So this is the concept of chet. Chet is the first letter of the word chochmah. It says just chiyuv. So he's success chiyus. So what he works in a Sephardi more accent, an Israeli accent. Chiyut, he says. For the wisdom and the inner intelligence are the vitality of all the things, as in wisdom gives life to those who possess it. However, because the light of the inner intelligence is so very great, it is impossible to attain except through the concept of the nun, which is an aspect of Malchus. Now, which you would say like this, that Chochmah travels through all of the Sephiros, that energy which is the beginning of all things, and winds up in Malchus, which is the concept of the 50th gate going from the top to the bottom. It's the concept of 50. As it is written, and we see this written, may his name, Yinun, so he's quoting the pasuk, I really should bring it over here, Lifnei Shemesh Yinun Shemo. Before the sun, he makes his name Yinun, like Nun. Now this is another concept of Yichud, where the sun and the moon go together. So Malchus is also the moon. Uferish Rashi Lashon Malchus. Rashi explains that Yinun means kingship. This is also the concept of the moon. So we said like this, the Malchus is the moon. For the moon has no light of her own, only that which she received from the sun, and this corresponds to Malchus. So let me just throw in this idea, so that the concept of Kabbalah, according to the Sulam, which I didn't make it up, he didn't make it up, is that she is Rotze Lekabel, that what she wants to do is receive because she has nothing of her own. So it has nothing of its own other than what it received from the Chet. So the Chet is Chochmah, and Chochmah wants to connect with her. The aspect of wisdom, or sun. So he says, as a result, the light of the moon will be like the light of the sun, because the two of them come together, and they make. Now this is where we got to the last time, but now we're getting a little more flushed out about the idea of what Likutei Moharan can actually mean to a person. And some people in shul that I met today, and I'm doing this, is that people can connect to the concept of Breslev. This is Baruch Fleischman, and this is the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.